Thanks everybody for coming. I want to talk to all Rocket fans in Houston and across the world why we made this choice to hire Mike D'Antoni as our head coach. We felt that we want to win all the time, every year, and try for a championship at all times. And we wanted somebody who really was a master of the craft, who really knew what to do, how to win. Mike has won 60 games twice in his career. There are only 3 NBA coaches who have done that: Doc, Popovich, and Kerr. If you hire a young guy, he's going to have a learning experience. He's got to make mistakes, learn his craft, learn what to do. And we, with the Rockets, with James Harden, who's a great, great player, didn't want to go through that experience. In the NBA today, it's ball movement and speed. And Mike is one of the real experts at that. And he'll be able to put guys in position to win and to better their games. And that's, Mike always says when you talk to him, that players love to play for him, not only because they get better, but they get paid. And he'll be a lucrative source for us for free agency. And all you naysayers out there, which are a lot of you, concerning defense, we interviewed Jeff Bzdelik for 3 hours in Cleveland, and I was never, and Daryl and I were never so impressed with his knowledge, his ability, how he interacts with the players, his preciseness, his videos, all his information. It was just an unbelievable experience. And last year his defense was 3rd in the NBA. Daryl and I made this choice together. We think Mike is an exceptional coach. When he has decent players, he's a big winner. Thanks. Daryl, you want to take over, Mike?
Well, very excited to have Coach D'Antoni. I think Mr. Alexander said it all. I think one thing I'd point out is, we have James Harden in his prime. We're building this for a championship run. We're looking to win now. I think a lot of times when organizations make coaching changes, they tend to go out and try and hire everything they think the last guy wasn't. And we wanted to make a smooth transition. We have a roster that's set up to be better in transition than in the half court. We have a roster that's been a very strong defensive roster recently. Last year was obviously a tough year on that end. But we wanted to make a smooth transition and continue our winning ways, which has been pretty high. We have the 3rd best record in the NBA over the last 10 years. Only, I think, 3 or 4 teams have been to the Western Conference Finals as many times as us in the last 10 years. We've done a lot of winning. We haven't gotten to where we want to, which is a championship, but we've done a lot, and we feel Coach D'Antoni will be able to continue the winning ways here in Houston.
Well, first of all, I'm really glad to be here. I want to introduce my wife, Laurel, who, thank you for moving us again. It's about the 5th time, so I appreciate it. She's really looking forward, as I, to living in this community and doing a lot out in the community. That's a big part of what we'd like to do, and we'll do that here in Houston. The other part is winning. And Mr. Alexander, I want to thank Mr. Alexander and Daryl for choosing me and for this endeavor. He said it best. He said he wanted a coach that is already seasoned and has made his mistakes. Well, I've done that. So he's got that right. And I know a big thing on people's mind is defense. And introduce Jeff Bzdelik, who will be my defensive guy. I know that the final responsibility will end up on my doorstep, but actually the defense isn't any good, it's his fault. So we'll get that one straight. And he'll do an unbelievable job. It's 7 years with Pat Riley, and he coordinated all the defensive schemes, and all the information went through him, and then with Memphis and wherever he's been, head coach. So he's got a world of experience, and I'll be leaning on him really heavily. And also Roy Rogers is going to join our staff. Did a great job in Washington, Brooklyn, players coach, and not too far removed from the game, and probably we could suit him up if we have to, but looking forward also to working with Roy. And again, thanks to the organization, and I just think it's a unique opportunity. It's one, to be able to coach one of the best players in the game, and I've had the privilege to coach James in USA basketball, and the one thing I did find was that he's very articulate, very smart, and he wants to win, and he's always prepared. And that's all you can ask for a superstar like him. He's one of the best in the league, and I'm looking forward to that. But also, that doesn't say that the roster's not good. The roster's good. There's some good players out there, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Our motto or our mantra this year will be, and these guys need to have career years, and that's on the coaching staff to make Trevor Reeves, Beverly, just go down the whole list. I don't want to leave anybody out. Capella will be a big part of it, and they need to have career years, and that's on me. So Corey Brewer, okay, now I'm on to Eunice, now I got to go draw. So at some point I just stopped because I'm running out of time, but we have a bunch of good players, and I'm looking forward to it. So.
Looking for questions?
Listening to Leslie, you both seem very aware that there's been criticism, backlash, and so on.
He's where I don't really.
I guess now we all. What's your reaction to that? To starting off and having the owner right there next to you, refuting, I guess what he referred to as naysayers.
Right.
And feeling the need to.
Well, one of it's unique to be able to coach players of caliber like James Harden, but also you got one of the best owners in sports. And one thing I've learned, and not in those situations, but when ownership, general manager wants to play a certain style, I want to coach a certain style, and they all align, then you have a chance. It's not like foolproof, but you have a chance to succeed, and that's, as one of the last shots that I'll have going forward, that's what I wanted, this chance to be able to get it all right, try to get to my vision that I think how basketball should be played, and I think we can win that way, and I will do everything I can to make it successful.
Mike, you talked about Team USA and coaching James. How important is that to help make this work, that relationship you have?
Well, it doesn't hurt. What's important, how good he is. That's important. I can have a great relationship with a lot of people, and it's not going to work. So we'll be at a stage where we're going to try to figure it out together. And that's one thing I learned, that he wants to play this way. We can win this way. And we all know what we have to do. We all have to play better defense. We all have to share the ball. We have to do certain things. But you're starting with one of the best players in the league, and not many teams have that. And that's the only way you can compete.
Did you think you would get another chance at this?
You always hope. You never know. It's so many guys going down this year that coaches. So it does go around. But it's a tough job. It's a great job. I wouldn't trade it for the world. And again, all you hope is an opportunity that the ownership, the manager, the general manager group is all in line with how you want to play the game. And when it's that way, then you try to fill in the holes and just try to get everybody better.
Mike, in Phoenix, obviously, it was 7 seconds or less, and you guys started all that. In LA and New York, you probably didn't maybe have the personnel, it didn't work out. Will it be 7 seconds or less here? Has that evolved since that time? How do you describe your offensive philosophy right now?
Well, it's funny because the 7 second line, like many things, I didn't even know we had that mantra. I think an assistant coach told Jack, hey, 7 seconds or less. I don't know. We just try to go as fast as we can and get a great shot. And there is a rhythm to the game, and I believe in that. I do believe putting offensive guys out on the floor, because if you don't score in this league, you don't win. You got to play defense. Everybody knows defense is super important, but you have to score. And teams are going to that more, and a lot of teams are doing great. So hopefully I've evolved also and got better as a coach, and players have gotten better. More people are shooting 40% from threes than before. So the game keeps evolving for the best, and it's great. As you see now in the playoffs, it's fantastic. I can't wait to watch tomorrow night, for example. It's great basketball, and hopefully we'll be one of those teams.
Coach, you had a lot of success with the Suns, but what type of things did you learn from your other stops?
I should have stayed with the Suns. I should have brought Steve Nash with me. That would have helped. You learn a lot of things. I do make light of it. I wouldn't trade New York for anything. I had a great time and great people up there. Los Angeles was great. So there's good stuff, there's bad stuff. I just felt the main thing is getting it all aligned, and that's from players to ownership. And if you can do that, then you have a chance. And I do think this is a great position to be in, to have that chance to be successful. And you don't have to change people's minds. You don't have to make people believe. In Phoenix, when we started, I kind of got lucky because we wanted to play this way. And I'm telling you, every day the players, myself, are battling people saying, you cannot win. You'll kill the players. It's not good. It's not good for basketball. You're making a joke of it. And that's every day. And that's on national TV. That's on local TV. And after a while, the players, I'll tune it out, but the players have to put up with it every day. And I got lucky in the sense of we started out 31-4. Well, then they think, oh, wait a minute, this works pretty good. If we'd have started off 10-10, I would have probably been run out of town, and it would have been years to have guys like Daryl come in and physically show, or with numbers, that this does work. And so this is, again, you learn as you go on, you make mistakes, you try to get better, and hopefully I'm a better coach than I was in Phoenix.
Coach, you talked a little bit about.
I'm sorry.
You talked a little bit about the roster. What are your thoughts on Dwight Howard?
Dwight's one of the best players in the league. He's had a great career. Obviously, we're going to want to play a certain way, and I hope he wants to play that way, and that'll be great.
Daryl, could you address that as well, how he might fit with the vision you guys now have?
Yeah, I think he's, as I said at the postseason, he's a great player. You need great players to win. Obviously, we have one of those that we know will be back in James Harden. Dwight Howard's more up in the air due to his contract situation. So, we played very well with Dwight 2 seasons ago. Obviously, last year was a tough year, so we know he can fit into how we want to play.
Coach, you watched the team last year on film. Just a thought or two about what the Rockets were a year ago, and then maybe one or two things you'd like to implement.
The first thing I want to do is get to know the players and their mindsets and where it kind of went wrong a little bit. Because you had an unbelievable year and then a down year, and that's why I'm here. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. So, and things, it jumps out real quick. You got to play better defense. People have to be, and I've always found out that if people are comfortable offensively, if they like their roles on the team, then their energy goes up on defense, and you become a better defensive team. There's no secret strategies of how to defend somebody. It's a lot of heart and soul and work. And we will push those buttons as much as we can, but at the same time, it's going to be me as a head coach to get people comfortable with their roles. When they don't want to play a certain way, or they don't like their role, you'll probably see it on the defensive end more than anything. And that's where I think maybe it went wrong last year. I don't want to, Daryl can answer better than me, but that's in the past, and we're turning a new page over, and I think people understand more or less how we're going to play. There'll be some wrinkles offensively and some stuff I think we can do with the roster, and I think we can surprise some people.
Any discussions with any players yet?
Yeah, I've talked to almost all of them. Everybody in the country I've talked to, and I will continue to do that. I'll go see them as soon as I can, and just explain my vision and what's expected, and one of the biggest things that we're going to address, and I think we can, is the chemistry. I mean, you can have good thoughts here, good thoughts there, but it's all got to come together, and those are things that we need to make sure is right, and everybody's happy with where we're going. Because once you get a group buying in on everything, then sky's the limit. And Golden State becomes Golden State because they bonded. Before 3 years ago, Curry was still playing, and Klay Thompson, they're thinking about trading for somebody else. It's like, but now they came together, and they're probably one of the best teams ever walked on the NBA court. That's for sure.
When you were considering this job, what about it made it most attractive to you?
Well, Houston's a great place to live, no doubt, except a little humid today, but no doubt about that. And like I said, the most attractive thing is you have a star player with good players around him, with ownership and GM committed to a style of play you want to play. Great facilities. I mean, there's really no negatives, none, and it's a no-brainer.
Mike, the last 2 stops you've been at, you had a similar setup. You had Melo in New York, you had Kobe in LA, now Harden here in Houston. Why would this be different?
We got an hour. It's Well, every situation is unique, and I don't want to go and litigate the past and what happened and where it went. It's not important. It's important that I learn from it and try to be a better coach. And I've had dealings with all three at USA Basketball before I got there, and really, just real quick, the thing is, we were in New York. Melo came in the middle of the year, and we lost half the team, and and they wanted to win a championship with only half the team, and Melo couldn't do it all, so kind of went we're a little wobbly there, but wouldn't trade those experiences for anything, and like I said, the biggest thing is I think the roster and James Harden line up what I want to do, how I want to play.
Is Harden really maybe what makes the possibility for it to be different, where he is in his career, the type of player he is?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. He's good. I mean, he's 26, 27 years old, and again, our mantra is going to be have a career year. If he has a career year, he might do things that only one or two other players ever done, and that's where our focus is going to be. And like I said, it's going to be up to me to put some thought into it, get some original stuff, and tinker with it a little bit and see what we can do.
Mike, one of the issues for the team last year was that the ball tended to stop a lot, and I mean, Harden's putting up career numbers, but
stopped in a good place.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
But Harden's putting up career numbers, but maybe the offense didn't have the flow. Is that one of the things that you noticed about them, and you would like to tweak to which it worked in Phoenix, obviously, to get that ball movement and the flow and the ball swinging?
I think so, to a certain degree. You can't exaggerate one way or the other. And again, I think chemistry and putting people in positions and tweaking it here and there, you can make a difference. Now, that ball is going to stop in James' hands a lot. I mean, that's just, it should. We don't want to get away from that. But at the same time, we've got to feel, everybody else has to feel involved also, and that'll be up to me to get that done.
How do you see Beverly in your offense right now?
I love him. I think he's good. He's improving his shot to 40% from threes this year. He's tough-nosed, hard defender, and he goes a long way. And I think James needs guys like that around him. And I see it. I don't know exactly his role but I know it'll be an important role, and I know he'll be good at it.
Mike, when you hear Daryl say championship, we're here to win championships.
I don't hear very good on this either. So
you just blocked it out?
Yeah, just, I knew he said something, but I didn't hear it.
What do you think about that? Walking.
Well, no, I didn't think about it. You know what? Yeah, I mean, everybody. We have 30 teams scheming how do you win a championship, and we want to do that. And we're lucky to have one of the best players in the league. So we should think that way. We should always think that way, no matter who you got on the team. That's our. Does that define if we didn't win it this year? Are we awful? No. But that's what we're going to strive to do, and everything's going to be from Daryl's side, the owner's side, my side, is get us to that point where get lucky and get a championship. That'd be great.
Listen, I don't recall a time since like early 2000s you felt the need to maybe answer people who could be considered critics, as you did today. Why today did you feel that was necessary, and what have you been hearing that?
Well, I felt the media nationally gave us a real bad rap, and I think locally too sometimes. And this team has the third best record in the last 10 years. You guys acted like we won 10 games last year. We're in the playoffs, and our worst year in a long time. And we've always tried to do everything right here to win. And I also I'm really upset about the rap that James got. And I mean, every time we interviewed a coach, the first thing they talked about was how great a player James was, and the media was putting him down all the time, which I thought was definitely wrong.
Les, what was some of the qualities that you really liked about Mike D'Antoni?
Well, I've been following him. I own the team for 23, 24 years now, so I followed the sport that long, and I've always wanted to run. Mike has a funny story where he was in New York. Tell him what happened.
That was it. That was the story. We were playing, I think it was the second year. First year, maybe in the first year, and Houston comes in. I don't remember the particulars, but we won, and we were going like this, and we beat them. And Mr. Alexander was in the hallway, and I was on my way out, and I'm with the PR guy, I think. Somebody was with me, and as we passed, he goes, that was Mr. Alexander. He owns the Rockets. And he was, I heard him oversay to somebody, how come we can't play that way? So that's my first.
I always wanted to play this way. So. Movement, You know, if you look at the teams that are in the 3 top teams in the West, they all play that way. I mean, if you don't play that way, you're not going to win.
Any other questions?
Just for Mr. Alexander, you're saying top 3 teams play this way, we need to play this way.
I've always often thought that the last 20 years, so it's not now. But
Sure.
I'm just not saying that.
Sure. The idea perhaps from your fans or elsewhere that you're trying to outdo the Warriors at what the Warriors do.
Well, I don't think I'm not trying to outdo the Warriors. I'm trying to play the best way you can to win.